Hello everybody and welcome to another Beyond All Reason video. Today I have something a little bit different for you. This is a free-for-all featuring myself. Here I am, the Cortex commander here. Now, my idea here was to show something a little bit different, talking to you rather than as a cast as such, more as talking to you about what I'm thinking about at this time as I move through the game and trying to help out with a bit of like what mindset to have, what things to think of whilst playing. Okay, so we're gonna leave full vision on most of the time and just kind of go from there. So this is a 4-player FFA. You can see this map is quite large, a bit too large for a 4-player FFA if anything, but we see a big difference in start choices here. So I'm core, Whiplash is core, going bots, Amma is arm, going vehicles, and we actually see Tanchu here going air, is arm. So we have 2 core and 2 arm. Now, start positions, because it was a blind drop, are all the same. So basically each player knows where we're going. So to begin with here, I've been a little bit greedy. This map is large, which means I know that I've got a bit of time before anyone's scouts are going to arrive, okay? So I've built this LLT slightly off the side here so that it can basically cover that angle, okay? So if something gets behind me, that LLT should cover this energy. And I plan on leaving with my commander fairly quickly. Now I've queued up 4 scouts here, into 2 engineers, into 5 tanks, with the idea that I will remove the scouts as soon as the incisors start building, and then probably drop the construction vehicles down to 1. Now, the scouts are going off. My plan here is to basically choose an angle of attack. So I'm going to scout this way, and I'm going to scout this way, really. But I'm going to go via the middle. Now, the reason for that is because this is actually like blind colors. Normally, so you don't know whose units, so I don't want to give the enemy any idea who is scouting them. Now my scouts here actually get killed, and I see that this commander is here, so I know that the person whose commander that is, they are not in their base, and it's got to be this guy, right? There's no one else that can get there any quicker. So with my scouts up the north here, I get a little bit of economy damage. Not too much though, and I don't want to like expose these scouts too much. So I managed to stop that engineer building, and that's it. So not great, but not terrible. Meanwhile, I've stayed in base probably a bit too long at this point because I was microing these scouts. So at this point, I want to move. And knowing that there is no commander in the base of the person to my right, this is where I'm sending my tanks. I'm sending my tanks that direction. I'm going to get my commander to move forwards, and I'm going to build a bit of a defensive line here on my side. So as you can see, I'm actually setting it up there. Ideally, I would have set it up there, but right now I want to try and control as much mechs as I can. I'm also sent an engineer off back here just to get these back mechs that should be relatively safe. Meanwhile, I'm just, queuing up more buildings. I've got this guy churning away. Now, right now, my economy's not amazing. If anything, Whiplash is doing miles better than me. He has built quite a few energy converters already, which is kind of a bit of a waste. And he has basically no units, so, at the same time here, here's my scouts coming in, so I managed to micro against this player here. I knew his comm wasn't here, so I knew he had no units. And seeing the air factory there, I also knew that, he wasn't going to get anything to defend it. Now, I've moved this scout very close here, knowing I'm going to take damage when it blows up, so that I can not get shot by the LLT. Now, the LLT can't hit me here, so I'm going to be able to get both these mexes, and I knew he was going to die from that. I get both of those mexes, which was a very good trade for a single scout. And then now I push in with the next scout, knowing that I can get close to these wins and probably get that as well. I could have done them both at the same time, and that would have been a lot better, but, you know, I'm not that great a player. And there we go. All those winds go up in smoke. And now I try and get close enough to the factory, but that ain't going to happen. So I know he's got gunships. So I'm like, right, I can't just attack with, you know, normal units. I'm going to need something to take out those gunships. So I've just alt-queued in a Lasher missile truck to deal with that. Meanwhile, that player is doing a great job at securing the middle. These metal points are 3.5 as opposed to the 1.6s on the outer rim. So they are very valuable metal points to be had. And because of that, we can see that the player here is losing those metal points is still only just below me. Now, this player to the north here done an amazing job at spreading out. And it has basically beelined it down this way with the commander towards me. Whereas I've been a lot slower at getting out. But my priority right now is I'm going to try and focus on killing this guy to my right. His commander's not there, and I am gearing up all of my units to basically go there, and my commander is going to hold that front line. Now, when we look at my resources here, I definitely need more energy. I have a guy working on it. I do plan on building that Geo at some point, but with air coming, I'm like, I need to build some air defense. I don't want to risk it. I need to get something going so those gunships don't come in and harass me. Bear in mind, the guy to my right doesn't know where those scouts come from. So I can kind of be a bit easier with it. And the guy over here doesn't see me coming at all either. This guy to the north, moving down, also doesn't know where I am. Pink is doing a great job here at keeping Whiplash busy. Had a few struggles at the top. I knew that because that guy was in the middle, I don't have to worry about Pink coming across. That guy in the middle is going to absorb anything from Pink and basically take the brunt of maybe all three of us. But by deciding to already get my defensive line set up along here, I've already kind of drawn my line in the sand on this side, and I'm already deciding that I'm basically going to want to take that part of the map. And if I can get control of that part of the map, I will have a massive advantage over everyone else, because they're going to have, you know, tiny bits in comparison. So, yeah, if I can keep that up, that is the plan at least. So, with my commander building a bit of air defense there as well, just in case. I've got a couple of bits more queued up. At this point, I'm excessing metal, which is not good. So I'm like, right, I need to think a way of spending this. So I plan on building another factory here. But right now, I'm going to focus on pushing forward and trying to take this base out. Now, I've got all these units to just assist this Lasher truck, just so they don't go ahead. Now, there is an actual hotkey for that, but in the midst of battle, I forgot what it was. So I thought, right, rather than trying to figure that out, I'm just going to tell them to assist that, and they'll follow it. And here we see here, I'm going to go and micro that. Now, I want to draw the gunships out so that they don't hit the missile truck. And the Lasher will actually kill those LLTs pretty quickly as well, but the amount of forces I've got there will deal with that pretty quick. And I will easily mop up this factory here. Bring that missile truck in, deal with that gunship, but that starter base is gone. And I bring my forces back around towards my missile truck here to take out that gunship for me. And there it goes, down in smoke. Now, bear in mind right now, I don't know this bottom corner's there. And I can see this Whiplash guy is starting to move forward. Build an extra couple of LLTs here just to try and make him not want to come and attack me. Now, I know he's moved out quite a long way here to get to where I am. So that's not good on my part, but I have taken out the factory to the right. So I know that that's basically gone and I'm kind of free to expand there. But without the commander there, he's not out of the game yet. So I'm just matching this guy's LLT wall while I get some units moving forward. I have queued up a Wolverine which will just demolish that wall. And I've now just discovered this stuff down here. I'm gonna pull back my guys and just use the lasher to deal with that. He has nothing he can deal with it. Unfortunately, I missed micro the tank a little bit here, and because of that, take a bit of excess damage. Could argue that I kind of over micro this in the corner here. I'm trying to stay out of the range, and I'm trying to take out the engineers so that he can't do anything, rather than take out the beamer, which I managed to do pretty successfully. Let's keep a single engineer alive for a little bit. I get some shots off it there, and with that engineer gone, this is now just free to take out on my whim. And now that I know that, I move over my concentration to this side. The rocket chucks come out, outrange the laser towers, and the Wolverine comes out. We see the LLT wall that's here start to go up in smoke. And there are a substantial amount of tanks on this side against ammo here. So I need to be careful not to push too much against that. Otherwise, I'm going to get myself in a bit of a pickle if that all comes down here as well. Now, the issue with free-for-alls is obviously, you know, you need to be careful where you send your units. You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, like up here, because if I can push through, I mean, you can move them relatively easily, but he's got nothing here to defend his comp at all. Whereas Tanchu in the middle here, he's fortified up quite heavily with the amount of towers that he has. And we're starting to see some economy differences here. We see Tanchu down to 20. Pink and orange Whiplash on 50 metal income right now. So doing very good. Me, though, only on 33. But a bit slow with my extraction. But now that I've got this entire bottom corner, it's now just a matter of time. I just need to push and take control of much of this as soon as possible. Now, I know I've made a hole here, and I've got that forward vehicle factory up. And I'm thinking, right, this is done. That corner's safe. I'm pretty safe. I'm covering these entry points here with some units because I know there's a guy in there. So I need to give myself a bit of time. I heard that there was air also from this guy here, so I've already prepared some air defenses, and the missile trucks are air defenses as well. And here I am sending some couple of tanks to do what I mentioned before. I'm just going to go and just take out all these uncapped mexes. This com is also just walking straight into the middle, and it's like, oh nope, can't do that, get out. Here we see like loads of open economy here, just completely open. Now, obviously I don't see this bombering attack going on right now, but that is a big amount of bombers. And this is enough to actually take out Hammer. He does not have enough. He actually hasn't even used these bombs at all properly, unfortunately. But that attack force combined with the shurikens is going to be enough. And Amma just resigns straight off. Doesn't want to fight it out and just quits. So, at this point, we're basically down to a 2v2. Whilst that was happening, my guys here spotted Snidely's comm. And I'm like, right, well, his comm's really open right now. He's got no forces near him because these guys are moving around and not getting anything. So I'm like, screw it, let's just go for it. And yeah. And he is not happy because of the fact that I've just killed his undefended mexes, which is kind of, you know, his fault. He wanted to defend them, he should have defended them. And manages to take out this base at the top here with relative ease. Now, I've lost vision of the commander right now. See here, I don't actually know where it is exactly, so I've just sent some scouts up to try and find it. And now I know the shurikens around, I need to be somewhat careful. I do manage to get a single guy into the base, which I'm going to use to get rid of that base. But then I just find the comm there. I'm like, right, Time to go. Thanks. Let's move. Now, if he does move those shurikens down there, I am going to lose a bunch. So I need to stack up a bit more. But right now I'm doing pretty well. And I decide, right, I'm holding fine. The guy at the top, I'm going to need more to break him if he does manage to get his comm out. So I am actually transitioned to Tech 2. I can see the enemy base here, and I see that he has not gone to Tech 2 with my scouts, right? So the guy in the middle is like, you know, he's just sat in the middle. He's lost his starter base. He's not as big a threat. But I still see this comm is exposed a bit. And he doesn't react quick enough. So I'm just trying to find him with these tanks. His energy flickers quickly there, meaning that he loses his cloak. And the shurikens don't have enough time to EMP all of my tanks. And unfortunately, he doesn't get his D-guns off well enough. And I manage to get his commander. And now, with the biggest threat taken out of the game, it just leaves the guy in the middle. So the guy whose base I took out initially is now the only one left. So now I know that, I'm like, right. I need to make sure he doesn't just go and take the rest of that. Now, he doesn't necessarily know what's going on around him right now. Because bear in mind, he doesn't know who's who. So by keeping him, attempted to at least keep him contained, I'm making sure I get some scouts in every now and again, which I've actually just lost them to try and see what's going on. My energy is doing horrific right now in terms of production. But I managed to get it somewhat under control. Still, I actually built that geo eventually. But my thought process right now is, right, I'm ahead. I've got Tech 2. I'm going to start getting Tech 2 economy up. Which I've just got the engineer out. And I need to take what's left of the map. I need to make sure I hold it. Make sure that the guy who I know is still in the middle isn't able to get too much more. And I need to keep him contained. So I've set up units here, 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 and here. Which is basically blocking him from, you know, well over half the map. And, yeah. At this point, I'm like, right, I just need to try and do as much as I can to keep him there. Keep him in the middle. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to contain him across the entire map. But I do what I can. And the radar goes up here to give me a bit of vision. Just to see if he comes out of this more northern side. Meanwhile, I've got engineers expanding on every front. As you can see, these guys here, they're expanding every metal extractor there. That guy's actually idle. That guy's expanding there. This guy will eventually, after he's built some defenses, deal with that. And Tanchun knows that he's going to struggle. And here comes the Tech 2. Plan is here to just harass this middle section, see what's here with the tanks, do what damage I can do with them. Now, he's invested into air here, and I have no air at all, so this isn't actually going to help him. The units that I have managed to contain him. None of his forces managed to break through on these sides. And sending this extra tank was a bit of a waste, but still. I'm like, right, let's just see what's here. This is what I can see with my thing. I do end up getting air here to get some scouts on the go to see where that commander is. Now, what I also do here, see there, I've control-D'd this wreck. I do not want him to resurrect this tank. So I self-destruct it. I don't want to give him Tech 2. So anytime one of my tanks gets low, I go to self-destruct it. Now that one I don't manage to do in time. But what I attempt to do, should we say, is probably more accurate. These guys take a lot of damage. This guy, I'm going to start self-destructing now as well. There we go. But again, it dies beforehand. And he does go to try and pick up my tank. But just move it out of range here, and the self-destruct goes off. Meaning that if he does go to resurrect, he's only going to get 2 Tech 2 tanks. out of the 4 that I sent in. So I can just replace those. He can't. I don't know if he actually goes to res them at all, but still. Also just want to deny him the metal, right? So now we can see in my base, started to get the Tech 2 extractors up. This guy's just going to go around and upgrade all of them. Right now I should probably be getting some energy up, but I know I'm steadily in the lead here. So I need to just kind of not rest on my laurels and actually, you know, try and push him out of the middle. So I'm just amassing some tanks and I'm just going to push. The air factory here, I'm getting some scouts, some fighters. I don't know what he's got. I don't want his comm to just run away in a, an aircraft transport, which I know he has. And here come the next batch of tanks. But I do see this force coming here, and this hole is a bit weak. So I want to keep that contained and not let him get through. So I keep them in. Take care of all the spawns pushing. And he actually falls back the rest of his forces. Those guys don't get through at all. And as we now go to the full view, we can see that my opponent's at 26 metal income. I'm at 100. And I have just seen his comm with my scouts. Now he is planning on just harassing my economy with all these guys. Unfortunately, AFK comm here of Amma just completely avoids that. And rather than trying to take out this fortified mess here, I'm like, screw it. All I need to do is kill his comm. I don't need to kill this base. I'll just kill his comm and send all these tanks here straight towards it. I've got new tanks coming out. That can reinforce that if he builds up enough forces. And I'm just going to push and kill his comm. That's all that matters. So that's the plan. That is what ends up happening. This force never, unfortunately, gets to a mass where he can actually threaten me. But I am struggling with energy right now. I've upgraded all those energy metal extractors and haven't built a fusion. So I'm getting one up now, and that will sort my energy problems. And yeah, at this point, I don't really need to worry too much. I am steadily in the lead here. I'm slowly taking both sides of the map. I could have built some air engineers to make this a bit quicker, but yeah, I saw this comm here and I was like, nope. Guy's left, he's AFK. That's not the guy I need to worry about. And Tanshu, unfortunately here, does not have the energy to really degun. And I'm just kiting the degun range here. That last guy gets a bit too close. And with that, managed to kill Tanshu's comm quite quickly. One thing to bear in mind, Tanshu, the game before this one, he absolutely destroyed me and his opponent. So he is a very good player. Free-for-alls managed to absolutely destroy us. So you could argue that maybe his start choice here is what ended up losing him the game. But still, regardless, I hope this has kind of helped you think about a new thought process on how to play, things for you to think of when you're playing. And with that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.